Hello, good evening, and welcome to a very historic night, quite a controversial night in Australian internet history. It's only about 2 minutes into the government's world leading, quite controversial under 16 social media ban, presumably will come into place. At the stroke of 12:01, 1 minute after midnight on the Australian eastern seaboard. It's 3 hours behind here, Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time in Perth. So yeah, we're heading on 9 o'clock. But yeah, we should start seeing the ramifications of this very controversial piece of legislation in the next few minutes. So I've just got my subscriber count up here. It's going to be interesting to see what happens at the stroke of midnight Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time. So yeah, we're officially less than 1 minute until the implementation of the ban now. So, very interesting times ahead to see what actually happens. Alrighty, we've got three people listening. Thanks so much for tuning in. Sorry, it was a bit of an impromptu stream. Actually, wasn't feeling that well today. So, yeah, got a bit sidetracked organising it. But yeah, we managed to get on in time. Now it is 9 p.m. here in Perth. Haven't lost any subscribers yet. So, presumably, YouTube are in for a $47 million fine. Because I'm pretty sure there is under 16s subscribed to my channel. Let's just refresh this subscriber count now. No, still 4,204 subscribers. So absolutely nothing has happened thus far. So yeah, we'll give it 10, 15 minutes, I guess, with this stream, see what happens, if anything. Yeah, let's check my Instagram subscribers, see if anything's happened there. So before the implementation of the ban, I had 3,061 followers, and I still have 3,061 followers. I believe Instagram may have started deleting accounts in the days leading up to, however, so I may have already probably lost a few accounts. So, long story short, we're not seeing any immediate impacts here. I guess let's check out a few other accounts, see what's happening. Let's bring up Mr. Beast on YouTube, see if he's got any noticeable loss in subscribers. Let's get Mr. Beast up on the screen here. 53 million subscribers. Obviously, with that many subscribers, you really would have to lose it in the millions for it to even be noticeable. So, yeah, there doesn't appear to be over 1 million subscribers to Mr. Beast. Let's refresh this. Should be updating live this total. Still 4,204 subscribers. If you're following the ramifications for your own channel, perhaps you're under 16, let us know down in the comments below if you appear to have been locked out. Or if you're a content creator like me, let us know if you've already lost subscribers. 4,204 subscribers. Absolutely nothing has happened. Just communicating on the Discord servers now that I'm party to, and yeah, no one is reporting any immediate changes to their subscriber counts. So yeah, I usually try and keep politics out of the channel. I'm at the end of the day an aviation and travel channel, so it's always best to keep politics out of things. A long story short, if you want to know my opinion on the social media ban, I'm absolutely against it. I don't believe it's the government's right to basically interfere in people's access to information and their ability to express themselves freely, their ability to engage in political activity, political expression as well. I also think it is a significant threat to the freedom of religion in this country as well, which is actually constitutionally guaranteed, unlike freedom of speech, which technically isn't actually constitutionally guaranteed in this country. So yeah, I do recognise a lot of people have genuine reasonings why they think this social media ban is a good idea, and a lot of those, well, reasonings are perfectly valid. I don't disagree. I just don't think this is the way to go about it. I think at the end of the day, it comes down to parental responsibility to decide what's right for their own children, you know? Sure, there is plenty of garbage out there on social media. There is a lot of bad. Putting out a blanket ban does not make sense in my opinion. Kids of Australia are gonna wake up tomorrow morning, and I don't think they're gonna be remotely any safer as a result of this ban. Kids are smart, they'll find a way of getting around it, not rocket science. Everyone knows how to get around this ban. Government already said the kids are not gonna be, punished for disobeying this ban. The whole thing is it's not a good idea in my opinion. Yeah, kids should be able to freely express themselves, they should be able to use social media to access information as well. This social media ban, it's very convenient, to potentially block kids from accessing information the government doesn't want them to think about or know about either. So differences of opinions, differences of political ideologies, they might get taught one way and they might want to challenge that way of thinking that they're taught in school and that. So I think it's a very slippery slope with social media ban. It's not just that, it's gonna have very practical ramifications as well. I think it's absolutely absurd that there's so many amazing content creators out there, especially in our community of aviation and travel. Fantastic community out there. You've got young people, you've got older people, everyone's doing it for the right idea, you know? And to me, it'd just be an absolute tragedy to see these 13 and 14-year-olds with absolutely amazing YouTube channels with amazing content, aviation, plane spotting. They're pursuing really great passions, And how is that a harmful passion to pursue? yes, parents should, step in there and make sure it doesn't completely get in the way of schooling and completely take over their life. Don't get me wrong, YouTube is very addictive. You know, you spend half your time always refreshing the YouTube analytics. Don't get me wrong, it does hook you in, but it's also an amazing resource as well, and, when used sensibly, I think it's absolutely fantastic, you know? There's kids out there with amazing channels, quite big subscriber counts. Actually gonna potentially lose their source of income, you know? Perhaps they don't have a part-time job at Macca's when they're 13, making some part-time income through YouTube. It's pretty modest, but the government's just gonna take it away from them. Thanks very much, Spear Aviation, for tuning in, mate. Yeah, 12:08 AM and has already failed. I think it has already, 'cause don't forget these social media, companies, we're gonna be fined $47 million if kids under 16 had accounts. It's just absolutely ridiculous. There's high court challenges presumably still under play here as well, you know? Yep, 4,204 subscribers. Absolutely nothing's changed. I haven't actually checked the detailed analytics, how many under 16 subscribers I have, but even myself, I'm anticipating I could lose a couple hundred subscribers as a result of this ban, which is an absolute tragedy in my opinion, because as a small channel, it's not easy to build up a channel. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of passion to do this. Years and years of hard work, you know, and to think that potentially some of my subscribers who really enjoy my content are all of a sudden gonna be, yeah, sure, they'll still be able to technically watch YouTube, but they won't be able to communicate, leave comments, all that sort of stuff. I think it's a joke. Well, there you go, my subscriber count's actually gone up, so there you go. That it's not working well at all. And the other big concern about this social media ban is, people call people conspiracy theorists and that when they throw out the idea of digital ID and all that sort of stuff. But, yeah, it's a pretty slippery slope, these sorts of social media bans. Like, how are the social media sites supposed to enforce it? Sure, they say they'll use all the AI and all that sort of stuff. The AI can make mistakes. People's accounts can be locked out for no good reason. People might lose their accounts when they're actually 17 or 18 years of age because AI thinks they're a child when they're slightly over the age of 16. So what inevitably will happen will be that digital ID will all of a sudden be the convenient solution, and then adults are gonna have to be putting in all this extra information every time they wanna secure their social media accounts or sign up for one. It's more and more government intrusion in people's lives. I think this has massive international ramifications as well. Thanks very much, mate, for telling us about the situation on TikTok. Actually not on TikTok, so not really gonna be affected as a user of TikTok, but yeah, it's gonna be very hard to police indeed. But yeah, this Australian government has set up this world leading supposable infrastructure, this ban, and, we're We're setting up the infrastructure. We're forcing IT companies to set up the infrastructure to basically censor the internet and these platforms at the will of whatever the government wants. What's to stop any other country A, B, C, D? They're all gonna go to YouTube and Meta and Instagram and TikTok and, Twitter, X, whatever, Snapchat. They're not gonna have the same idea now. They're gonna go up and basically say, "Oh, hey, we don't want this group of people having access to social media," or, "We don't want this group of people or our citizens being able to access certain things on the internet." So, Australia is doing the global community a huge disfavour with this. IT companies are setting up the infrastructure to basically help further censor the internet. It's not good. Yeah. Nothing happening on TikTok by the sounds. I just checked my Instagram again, still the same amount of followers, nothing's changed there. I believe Instagram may have been implementing the ban a little bit earlier. What I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna check a few channels actually that I know are under 16s. I won't name them publicly, but I'm gonna see if they're still on YouTube. Yep, there's one channel from Perth. I know the person's under 16, only about 11 years of age. Account hasn't been banned, so $47 million fine for YouTube there. Another account, this guy's up in Darwin. See if his account's been banned. No, still there, nothing's happened. So that's 2 examples there. And yeah, Mr. Beast hasn't lost any subscribers either. I've made actually 3 extra subscribers. There you go. So yeah, I don't think kids are gonna be any safer tomorrow. Kids who wanna get around to it, to get up to any good, they're gonna find ways to get around. Kids who are polite, they just accept the ban, they're potentially gonna be put at a disadvantage as some of their other peers get around it, then they're put at a disadvantage as a result of that. The government should be actually going after the troublemakers, not punishing society as a whole. This is just an easy Band-Aid solution. Makes it look like they're doing something. There's so many other ways the government should be doing more to protect our children. Social media ban ain't gonna do anything. Sorry. Don't get me wrong, of course kids shouldn't be on social media all the time. I'm 32, like, when I was at school, it was all about Hotmail and, what was it? MySpace, that was all the rage. They never got out of hand or anything. But yeah, banning YouTube is absolutely ridiculous, like, Discord's not banned. Pornography websites, for God's sake, are not banned. like banning YouTube, under 16s having accounts on YouTube. A lot of kids these days use YouTube as their main source of information. They use it for entertainment purposes, they use it to watch TV shows. When I was a kid, you'd watch, Cheese TV before school, and you'd watch ABC Kids after school, you'd watch all the animations on the TV, you watch Play School. These days, kids, they watch YouTube, documentaries, they watch TV shows, they watch stuff from their favorite content creators. Now they're not gonna be able to have accounts. Ridiculous. You know, there's you know, there's certain plane spotters out there that do live streams every weekend, and they're, 11, 12, 13, 14 years of age. They're very young, but they've got huge audiences. They do plane spotting every week. They get thousands of people in their streams. They'd be making a little bit of good pocket money with that. It's doing a great passion. They're just gonna lose their their income and all their hard work overnight. Crazy. Yeah, you're pretty well right there, Larks Gaming. If kids wanna go and search for objectionable material on YouTube, nothing's gonna stop them. It's still there. What do we do next? Do we censor kids from being able to watch the 6 o'clock news? The 6 o'clock news is exempt from classification because news is real life. News is not always pretty. Government are gonna, you know, censor kids from seeing what happens in real life. It's just a reality. 100% agree, Spear Aviation. It's up to the parents. Sensible parents would draw the line, what's suitable social media for their kids to be on and what's not suitable, and they should set the parameters on their kids on social media and what purposes they use it for. And the role the government should be playing is to actually step down crack down on the troublemakers. So many people are getting off scot-free. They're a threat to our children, and the government does very little about it. Put the troublemakers in jail. How is that for a radical idea? Not just some blank YouTube ban. 95% of kids 99% of kids are doing nothing wrong. Extraordinary. Yeah, let's refresh your subscribe account right now. Yep, nothing's happened. So yeah, I've found at least 3 examples now where accounts should be shut down. $47 million fine per occasion, that's 150 million YouTube. If the government actually start implementing these fines, YouTube and Meta are just gonna leave Australia entirely. Not as radical idea as you think. These social media, enterprises, they're for-profit businesses at the end of the day. If they're not socially if they're not financially viable, They might just shut down and move out of Australia altogether. That's gonna punish all you users. Yeah, you're right. The aviation, there was 2, young gentlemen that were taking it to the higher court, and, also I believe Reddit put in a late, uh, challenge as well. Presumably, these challenges just haven't been, concluded already, so these challenges are still ongoing. I don't really know how they can implement the ban now because there's still challenges underway. Good question, by the way, Spear Aviation. What's the favourite best plane you've seen? Well, for me, plane spotting at Perth Airport, I always think the arrival of the daily South African service, A340. Always think that's a really special sight to see at Perth Airport, just because I don't think the A340 flies anywhere else in Australia, so that's one of the coolest planes I've seen. So yeah, the subscriber counts popping up and down a little bit at the moment. Up 1, down 1, up 2, et cetera, but that's pretty typical for live streams. Certainly don't think it's a social media ban, whatnot. If the social media bans actually come into effect real time, potentially I could actually lose a couple 100 subscribers, potentially it could go below 4,000. So I think that's totally to be expected in the live stream. Nope, it's meant to start 12 p.m. Sydney time. Yeah, there's no real official time that I've seen that the ban's come into place. I could only assume it would start at the start of the day. So yeah, you may be right. So yeah, I'm just gonna refresh these channels that I know are definitely under 16 still there, still there. The ironic thing is, many parents would have set their YouTube accounts up for their children in the parent's name, knowing the government could get up to such a thing in the future. So a lot of people actually had the foresight that the government might actually do this. What, are they gonna start fining parents $47 million as well? 'Cause they facilitated their kid having an account? Where are we gonna draw the line with this? Let's just check Facebook, see anything's happening there. 10 notifications. notifications on the Aussie Jet Facebook page. See what's happening there. Still have 61 followers on the Aussie Jet Setter Facebook page, which I must say has been rather neglected. Haven't posted on that since the 1st of July. Nonetheless, haven't lost any subscribers on Facebook either. So there you have it, folks. Nothing's really happened as of about 12:28 a.m. on the Australian Eastern Seaboard with this social media ban. So yeah, it's going to be an expensive day for YouTube if they're going to get a $47 million fine. Yeah, absolutely nothing appears to be happening. Perhaps that will change later on the day. Who knows? But yeah, it's proven that this social media ban is a complete and utter joke. It's going to make Australia the laughing stock of the world, to be honest. So there you have it. Nothing's really changed. Think you may as well wrap up things pretty soon because nothing's really exciting happening with the analytics. But yeah, just while I got everyone online, thanks so much once again for all your support over 2025. Been a bit of a challenging year, been a few curveballs along the place, which have made it a bit harder for me to produce content, especially in the second half of the year. Yeah, things are looking good. Hopefully for next year, actually going to be going to Europe if all plans go well in late March. Yeah, there's going to be a huge amount of walking tours from all over Europe. Actually, I was going to be going to Egypt as well, so that's going to be quite fascinating. Basically, redoing the whole Euro trip that I did when I was 18. So yeah, it's going to be fascinating walking tours all over Eastern Europe, go to London, go through all the Central Europe as well. We'll go to Black Sea. We'll go to Turkey. We'll go to Egypt. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, going to be going over East again in January. Gonna be flying Jetstar up to Cairns. And yeah, we're gonna get the Queensland train in what do you call it? A rail bed from Cairns to Brisbane. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. 25-hour rail journey, so like my first long ultra haul journey, I guess. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. Gonna do a few more flight reviews. We might do the Tasmania ferry and that sort of stuff as well. A very exciting year ahead. Still 2 more flight reviews as well for this year. We've got, Virgin Australia human business class flight review. That should be coming out this Sunday night. So, yeah, don't forget to check out that one when it drops. Got a cheap business class upgrade. So that was a lot of fun. And, yeah, the season-ending flight review of this year, it's actually gonna be a special Christmas Day premiere. We'll be covering the United Airlines Boeing 757-300 flight between Denver and San Francisco. So I thought that'd be a really special one to end the year. So we'll should release that on Christmas Day. And yeah, that should be a wrap for the year. Then I'll have a bit of a off season over the holiday season, January, February. Probably be taking a little bit of a break from YouTube. We're gonna be posting content weekly. Yeah, it'll be some of the less sort of, involved stuff. Some of the, transportation reviews that I've done on trains and buses, sort of stuff from last year. Just reviews that don't take me quite as much time and effort to put out there. Yeah, that'll be the kind of the holiday season, uh, to keep us going until we start more flight reviews in early next year. So there you have it, folks. One last refresh on the subscriber count. Absolutely nothing's changed as a result of this ban. Let's hope it stays that way. But yeah, for now, thanks so much for tuning in. May do a live stream, you never know, on Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. Just don't want a repeat of last year, so better get it sorted properly. But yeah, for now, thanks so much for tuning in. And until the next one, safe travels, where that might take you.